What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Coffered ceiling project here in this room. Now this is day 3 and this is going to wrap up the installation. All we have to do to get this completely installed is put the crown molding in, and this is going to be the feature that really just makes this ceiling pop. So I'm going to get started on that. John is starting to fill the nail holes and he's going to be doing a lot of the prep work today, but tomorrow we're going to be pretty much done with the prep work and masking this area off for spraying. So we're gonna get right on it. So this is gonna be a pretty straightforward process. I'm not gonna go into it too much. Basically, I got an easy day. I'm gonna be cutting a bunch of inside 45-degree miters with this big 6 5/16 crown molding, and I'm gonna be doing that using my homemade crown stop jig. Well, a couple of glue bottles later, and we got it done. This crown right here has a huge glue surface. So as you can see, I'm just sanding where these joints right here intersect for these two beams, and just using 220 on an orbital sander. Just slightly knock down the edge if there's any imperfections. I actually ended up hitting all the tongue and groove boards on the ceiling with the orbital sander. It just went a lot quicker that way, and it kind of needed a more powerful sand, and I didn't feel like doing that just all with my hand and using my own strength. So that's where tools come in, right? But the next thing we're going to do for all the little detailed areas and the MDF areas, we're going to use these sanding sponges. These are just fine grit sanding sponges, and we use these ones from 3M here. They seem to work out really good. They just leave you a nice smooth surface up there on whatever it is you're sanding. And then we'll come dust everything off and then vacuum the whole ceiling. And then at that time, I think we'll be ready to prime. A few more areas to mask, like around the light and the vents, but pretty much moving right along here. Got the whole area plastic off from floor to ceiling, so no dust on the shutters, no dust on the walls, no dust leaving the room, and then also a huge drop cloth on the floor. to be spraying this right here. This is a shellac-based bin primer. This is really, really good stuff. My absolute favorite primer, but it smells really bad. So you're definitely gonna wanna get something that covers respiratory system for sure. I recommend eyeballs, skin, everything. So we're head to toe dressed up when we spray this. And it's kind of a product that almost when it touches the air, it like dries. So there's usually a lot of dust when you spray this. Just atomized primer, just drying mid-air. So we don't cheap out on the plastic here. We have like 3 pieces of plastic to our entry point in the room. And we even have the hallway right there covered with paper and drop cloths. So don't trust this stuff to be nice to you, except when you put it down on your project. It's really, really good stuff. Very watery. You can see there. Another thing for this, I'll mention, since we got those raw pine boards up there, we're using the shellac-based primer, especially for those, because there's no water that's gonna make that wood grain want to raise. This is just a shellac. It's just gonna lay down on it and we'll have a smooth surface that's not gonna pop the grain. One thing I particularly like about this sprayer is I can take these big 5-gallon strainers and just wrap them around the hopper, and then I can just dump my product in through the strainer, and I don't have to like strain the paint into another pail or something. This gallon is about 1/3 full. I got another full gallon. And one thing I'd recommend, if you're gonna use this stuff, it has a lot of solids in it and a lot of liquids. Like there's a lot of stuff just built up down here, pigments or whatever. And if you're gonna buy it, definitely have, like I bought this one at Home Depot this morning, have the paint desk shake it for you so you don't have to stir it. And then with this sprayer, I'm just gonna cycle it through a few times. So it'll be good, but yeah, that stuff just really cakes up at the bottom. See how watery that is? It's almost just like water. It's pretty crazy. It should be good now. So here's the deal. We're gonna switch that camera. That camera cannot be in here while we spray this because of all the overspray. But we're gonna use a GoPro, like an old GoPro that I have, and I'm not gonna be able to talk, which that's probably a good thing, because like they say, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, there's usually more said than done anyways. So you can just watch. My suit of choice is a Tyvek XL. Usually go 2XL, but that's all they had today. So I'll give John the 2XL. I'll be the skinny jeans guy today. I'll lose the hat, put my respirator on, and then this will cover everything. And then we'll just tell the customer it's about to be a nail salon over here. So switch cameras. I gotta tell you, man, that went perfect. Couldn't have gone better. And one cool thing about the prime coat is it's kind of a practice coat for your top coat, because you get a feel for it. And primer is a lot easier to correct than paint because it dries so quick. If you have a mistake with paint, like a sag or run, you have to generally wait till it gets tacky, get some cold water and a sanding sponge, sand it out. But with this prime coat, it just told me like how I'm gonna spray it. So it works out pretty good. So at this point, anytime we prime something, it's always a good time for us to take our lunch break, because we gotta wait anyways. So we generally clean up the area and eat our lunch. We're gonna be spraying Sherwin-Williams Solo Eggshell. This has gotta be one of my favorite paints because it just has such a nice dull finish to it. It's not matte, it's not flat, which is the same thing as matte, but people kind of mix those up. Flat and matte, in my opinion, are the same thing. It's Solo Eggshell. It's basically satin, but it's a really nice satin sheen. Because from paint company to paint company, even within Sherwin-Williams, like the Pro Classic satin, I'm not a really big fan of. The Benjamin Moore Advanced satin, I really like that one. But the Solo Eggshell satin is amazing. With these pieces of crown, usually I'll just keep them, but freaking BMC went up on their prices again. This stuff is like $4 a foot. So each one of these pieces of 16-foot crown is about $64. So heck no, I'm taking all this stuff back. Just gonna have to deal with it. So they don't like, those kind of places, they don't like when you return stuff. That's the only bad thing. Like I got this at Lowe's. They don't care, you know, they're just like, yeah, sure, you can return it, just leave it here. But these places like BMC and then some other places, they're just like, they just kind of give you the eyeball, like, don't be bringing stuff back, man. Too bad. That's what, 6 times 4, like, dang, that's like $250 right here. And then these tongue and groove boards, I always get a lot more than I need because they give you some crappy ones. Like this one is all gouged up. So I gotta kind of like just grab a stack and hope it's good. So I always get some more. And these will definitely be going back too. Like this finish side has all this glue on it and stuff. It's just weird. That's another bad thing about those kind of places. Like BMC and, you know, I keep saying BMC, but, oh yeah, look at this one. This is Naughty. It's like a different kind of pine. Why do I have this? Why'd you give me this? So anyways, that's what I was gonna say. A bad thing about those kind of places, you don't get to pick through your stuff. They just bring you out a quantity, and if you don't catch it on the dock, then you're stuck with it. Cool sound right there. All right, so we got everything loaded up. We're pretty much ready to get out of here. Oh wait, we have to spray the top coat, I forgot. So I gotta go clean the sprayer, and then we're going to see how smooth it is. The crazy thing about that primer is you can actually sometimes get away with not doing a sand before the top coat. If you don't believe me, try it. It's the only primer I've been able to do that with. And when I say get away, I don't mean I'm doing it like a second-class job. I mean, it is smooth. So we're not trying to see how much we can get away with. Don't take that the wrong way. But it's just such a smooth finish because it dries so quick. All right guys, it's been a long day, but that is a wrap. We are done with this job, and I would really love to show it to you, but unfortunately the lighting in here is just way too bad, so we're not gonna be able to show it. But hey, thanks for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. And other than that, I guess we'll see you on the next one. Just kidding. Here we go. Look at that. And it came out really nice. I really like it. This is one of my favorite things we've done so far. It looks super good. It's one of those ones you wish you could take home with you. You know what I'm talking about. If you do this kind of work or any other kind of work, you feel really, really good about the job that you did. And it's like, hey, I want to bring that home. I really like it. But there we go. I really like how these intersecting beams are seamless. Just a nice touch there. Very detailed and not ornate. Exactly my style. So the electrician is going to be changing this light, and then they're going to get a smaller vent cover for this return over here. And then that is pretty much it. Oh, and they're going to paint this room. So we didn't do any touch-ups in here. They're going to be painting this fairly soon. So she said don't even bother doing the touch-ups. And then we're going to be putting, I believe, a pretty high wainscot in here. We'll change out the trim around that door, and yeah, it's going to be a nice little office area. But this is just such a bold statement right here. I really, really like the way this came out. There you go. Thing I'll mention too is the sheen. If you look at the sheen when the light reflects off the paint, you can see that nice dull finish. That is Sherwin-Williams Solo Eggshell. Probably my favorite paint to spray. It just behaves so well and gives you that nice dull sheen. All right, so there you have it. We finished the Coffered ceiling. Pretty straightforward design, but man, that came out just perfect. That was a smooth job, and that one was what I would call a slam dunk. Everyone was happy, and we're ready to hit the road for the next job next week. I want to answer two questions. One of the questions that I think would come up is, why didn't I use an extension like this 18-inch or longer to spray that? Why did I keep moving the ladder when I was spraying? Well, with these extensions, when you pull the trigger to release the paint stays loaded in here, and when you release the trigger, it spits. So all extensions are pretty much known for spits. And since I did a lot of starting and stopping with my spraying, I didn't want to have spits when I start and stop. So that's why I didn't want to use one. I just would rather move the ladder around. And then you notice too, when I was painting the bottom of the beams, I was moving pretty quick because I wanted to keep that wet edge. So I was basically just moving as fast as I could, being as safe as I could, trying to spray that wet edge and feather it in. So I would just kind of have my tip like feather in. I wouldn't start like right where I left off. I just kind of feather it in. I'll make more videos about that in the future, showing samples and how that really works. But I just wanted to answer those questions. Anyways, that's where we're gonna end this video. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.